up your heart and let the magic unwind. With harmonies divine design.
Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. My name is Michelle Anantua, co-owner of Harmony's Divine Design, where I work alongside the amazing T Weaver. At Harmony's Divine Design, we work with new and seasoned entrepreneurs, helping you guys get out that stuck place. So we do that by offering one-on-one business coaching, online classes, and products and services to streamline your workflow. And today, um, I come to you for a motivational moment. Okay. I have I have some fire in me this morning, and I just needed to get on here and I needed to share it with you guys because today is the official kickoff of Timeless Vision's Book Nook. And with Timeless Vision, it is a community for women, for for women 35 and up, stay-at-home moms, and creative solo entrepreneurs. So we are talking to women that are on the path of entrepreneurship, on the path of identifying themselves, relearning, getting reacquainted with themselves, and helping you guys stare your vision in a clear way. So, Timeless Vision is really a labor of love. It is with me, Coach Kristen, and T Weaver, who is my business partner, and also a bonus, my mom. So, it's awesome working with her. But this community was created because the three of us as women, we started identifying how our stories are very similar. And when I say similar, I mean literally the experience of womanhood, just coming into ourselves, understanding what it is to be us. It is something that is truly a journey within itself, right? So we didn't get to our mindsets that we have today overnight. This was something that progressed over time. And I come to you today with the kickoff of the book nook because we are going to be reading this month. We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. I have started reading this book, and let me tell you, it is phenomenal. It has been the kick in my rear that I needed, but also it has been a labor of love to let me know that I am not traveling this journey by myself. And that is what Timeless Vision is. It's letting you know you're not alone, bridging that communicative gap from learning all the things to actually applying them within your life and seeing how it can flourish. And with Rachel sharing her story of her humble beginnings into entrepreneurship is very relatable. Being a mom, having to deal with, not necessarily the best environment you want to be in. Um, it might feel too small. It may just be a little complicated right now. It may be some trying and difficult times. But knowing that even though you're going through all the things, that keep hold of that vision that you have because it means something. And one of the lines in the book this morning that really kind of kicked me was leave your house looking like someone loves you. Okay. I remember as a child, I would hear when you go out on the other side of that door, know that you're representing me, right? You're representing your parents, you're representing your household, you're representing what it is the environment that you're coming from, and I can say over the years, I will be very transparent, battling with depression and grief and anxiety and a lot of things that we all have experienced since 2020. I have not been looking or treating myself, like someone loves me because I'll be honest, I wasn't loving me. Right. So when I'm not loving me, that means I'm not showing up in my best self. I'm not showing up in a way that, you know, I can envision myself being that $1 million woman or entrepreneur or company owner, legacy creator, so showing up like someone loves you, it can mean a various different things. For me, one of the simplest ways that I started just showing some level in me was with my skincare routine, right? Before I wasn't really doing much. I would just get up, wash my face, do the things, the necessary things, but they were my bare minimum. And at this point in my life, I have realized that I am no longer complacent with the bare minimum. And that's with multiple elements in my life, whether it's, relationships, be it external or internal, or just my overall mindset. I will be honest, I love the luxury. I love the feeling nice. And, for luxury, it can be defined in various ways to people. But how I pose the question, how do you feel wealthy? How do you feel rich? What is that feeling like when you sit there and say, okay, removing all the current responsibilities that I have, removing the all the things on my to-do list that I have to do. If I was to sit here and be honest with myself in this moment, in this time, what does feeling wealthy feel like? What do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? Right? Um, I know for me, wealthy is a state of peace. It is a state of mind where, you know, I do not have the current limitations that I do now. So, if I wanted to, say, for instance, book a vacation, multiple vacations throughout the year, one per quarter, I can do that without having to scrap or having to, make sure that bill may not bounce or something. I don't want to have to worry about that. So when I think about these trips, I'm thinking about, okay, they're already booked. We didn't already planned them. My family's ready to go, etc. The finances are there. The hotels are ready. The planes are, fueled up and ready to go. That is my state of mind when I think of these things, right? So right now in the current climate, that may not be feasible. That may not be something that you necessarily would think like, girl, like a vacation right now, like, do you understand that groceries is this? Yes, I do. I do. I understand that, the economic lookout right now is not optimal for everyone, and I get that, and I am very, very present with that. But that does not stop you from envisioning something better, because the beautiful thing about this is that we can control our mindset. We can sit here and say whether you choose to be a part of a certain narrative or not. And I know for me, as I have journeyed through life, there's certain narratives that I do not include myself in. And it's not because, of a negative output. It's just simply, I'm not including myself in a certain mindset, a certain action, a certain flow, because it is not in alignment with where I am or who I am as a person. So using that level of discernment has allowed me to see and do things in a different way from my peers, from, even family members. I was always that quote unquote oddball, right? The rebel, the one that tried things. And, because at times it would be reprimanded, I suppressed it. But as I have gotten older and gained wisdom and experience and all these things, and I'm constantly maturing and learning and growing, is you ask yourself the question, well, why am I hiding that part of me? Why am I, making myself small to fit in someone else's narrative of who I should be? Why am I doing that? When along the line did it become more comfortable for me to sit here and shrink my light than to show who I really am? Because when you identify those moments in your life, it's like, oh, well, typically it's because I allow someone else's opinion to dictate a narrative in which I then believed and consumed as myself and my truth. When in reality, it really wasn't. You know, that person may not have understood a certain action or mindset or element that I was in at that time, and that's okay. But that's when communication takes place, right? That's when conversations and those uncomfortable conversations at times we need to have need to happen, right? So we cannot hide behind our comfortability, and expect to grow within that in that realm. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because the thing about growth, the purpose about it is you get bigger. You become more. And I know the vision that you have in your life is not something that you just see as a rinky dink type of thing, a fly by night type of moment. So why are we treating it as such? Okay. We need to start understanding that it is okay to think bigger. It is okay to dream bigger. It is okay to identify that that vision inside of us that we've been holding on or keeping mute for 20 years or more. It's time for certain parts of us to be shown. Our greatness, our gifts, our talents deserve to be shown. So, with all that said, for today, you know, I challenge you guys to sit and think of what your version of wealth feels like. All right. So I'm Coach Michelle of Harmony's Divine Design. This is my little motivational moment, and I hope it brings value and enlightenment to you guys. And let me know in the comments how this is. What are your thoughts? All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great one, everybody.